Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will give presentation about biology in the topic of enzyme. Enzyme are a protein that act like catalyst. Catalyst is a substance that increase the rate of chemical reaction and not change by the chemical reaction. Enzymes are made in all living things. An example of an enzyme control reaction is such as the joining up of two glucose molecule to form a molecule of maltose. You can see that enzyme and substrate have a complementary shape, so they can fit each other. The, uh, there are probability that a molecule of two substrate combine without enzyme. It will take a long time. It could be an hours or a days. But by bringing the substance closer together, enzyme molecule make reaction progress faster. The process can be very fast. It has been discovered that catalyst enzymes that are very uncommonly found in most cell can break down around 40,000 hydrogen molecules peroxide every second. A rise temperature can increase the chemical reaction. A fall temperature can slow them down. However, above 50 degrees Celsius, enzyme stop working, and above 50 degrees Celsius, the shape of enzyme are permanently changed, and the enzyme cannot longer combine with the substance. This one of reason why organism may be killed because the higher temperature. The pH temperature that the place that enzyme work more better is called pH or temperature. Uh, as explained before, that the enzyme reaction depends on temperature and pH. It's also depending on the enzyme and the enzyme concentration substrate. Uh, more uh, more enzyme molecule are produced cell, more faster the reaction will continue, provided there are enough substrate molecule available. Our enzymes are made inside cell. Most of them stay in cell for a speed up the reaction in cytoplasm and nucleus. This cell is called intracellular enzyme. And there are also enzymes that let out from cell to do their job to digest food. This enzyme called extracellular enzyme. The first enzyme was found by Anselmo Payen. He found the first enzyme called diastase in 1883. Diastase enzyme is an enzyme added by bees during the ripening process of honey. Diastase or amylase digests maltose struts and it's relatively stable to heat and storage time. This enzyme sometimes rarely known by the people in the world because there are a lack of information about this topic. Diastase enzyme have an important role in assessing the quality of honey and is used as an indicator of the purity of honey because this enzyme comes from body of bees. In 1878, uh, Wilhelm Kuhn, a physiologist from Germany, used term enzyme. He took that from Greek language that have meaning in developing material. Enzymes have many biological function. In example, luciferase enzyme that help help fireflies to produce light. The name of luciferase is took from Latin word Lucifer that have mean light carrier. Then amylase and protease enzyme that could help digest system in animal. These two enzymes could break down the molecule like fatty and proteins from a big molecule into a small molecule. Uh, Amylase enzyme is enzyme that could break down fatty molecule and turn it into a sugar. Amylase enzyme divided into two group, alpha and beta. Uh, you can find alpha in human saliva and also in pancreas. And if you want to find beta beta amylase, you can find it in some seeds, uh, mushroom, bacteria, and so on. Then protease enzyme. Protease enzyme is an enzyme in the hydrolase group that will break down proteins into a simple molecule. This enzyme is needed by the all living things because it is essential in protein metabolism. Uh, we can the produce of enzyme can be increased or decreased depends on the uh, environmental condition. A single important enzyme can cause genetic disease. It's important. It's shown by the fact that deadly disease can be caused by the malfunction of enzyme out of the thousand of enzyme percent in our body. One of example is phenylephrine. This is a single amino acid mutation in the phenylalanine hydrolase enzyme catalyze the first step of the phenylalanine and its related compounds. This can lead to a mental restoration if it's not treated well. I think it's all. It's there is any question, you can open your mic.
Richard,
Sal,
Richard,
Rizal.
you confirm.
Richard,
What?
Rizal.
Richard.
Okay.
I think in our body there are many enzyme. Example, enzyme trypsin, lipase, amylase, and other. And I want ask you, uh, which part of body produce enzyme lipase, and what's benefit from enzyme lipase?
Part of lipase. In lipase make in a cell, and the function of lipase is to digest food and digest fat in our body. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Salva,
Yeah.
what's the relationship between enzyme and temperature?
Validation. if the relationship is enzyme can uh, began because if the temperature is very high and the enzyme can be more uh, uh, good at do their job if the temperature is stable.
Okay.
Aku
Sal,
me,
Lukman,
me.
Lukman.
How long,
Huh?
how long humans can survive without enzyme in
How
their
long?
body?
How? Pak, repeat.
How long humans can survive without enzyme in their body?
Without enzyme, all enzyme gone. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if human didn't have enzyme in their body, yeah, there are will not human will not exist in the world. Maybe just 1 second or 1 minute, human will die.
Okay, thank you.
misal, sal.
Arif.
Widya.
Arif.
Sal.
Budi.
Nah,
Budi.
sal. Yeah. How many enzymes are in the body?
Total ya.
Yes.
Berapa ya? Berapa ya? Wait. Maybe maybe around one 1 million. 1 million.
1 million.
Yes, maybe.
And what happen if we have too much money enzyme?
Yeah, if we have too much enzyme, yeah, there are. If we have too much enzyme, yeah, our body will find. Yeah, because enzyme is very important to our body. So if we have many enzyme in our body, yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Widya, Sal.
Ya, Pak.
Please explain what it mean by enzyme specificity.
Hah? What?
Please explain what it mean by enzyme specificity.
Enzyme specificity. Enzyme enzyme. Oh, enzyme specificity. Enzyme specificity is the ability of an enzyme to choose exact substrate of a group of a similar chemical molecule. Yeah, that's.
Nisa.
Kayla.
What is example of extracellular enzyme?
Extracellular enzyme.
Yeah.
Oh, apa ya? Sample. The example of extracellular enzyme is trypsin, lipase, and etc. I think that's all.
Nisa.
Ya, apa?
Aku mini
Bisa. Can you explain the effect? Can you explain the effect of pH in enzyme?
The effect pH.
pH.
Yeah, pH is like some like temperature. So, like I said before, if the pH is very high, the enzyme might will permanently change and cannot combine with the substrate or substance. Yeah.
Okay.
Faisal.
Yeah, Faris.
Aku salah.
Yeah. Yes.
Faris.
Faris, I will
Faris.
yeah give me example enzyme in stomach and the function.
Enzyme what? Stomach.
Yes, lambung
In stomach.
and the function.
Oh, lambung ya. Lambung. Yeah, enzyme that in the lambung is like pepsin, lipase, chlorida. The pepsin is for digest protein into a peptone. Lipase to digest fat into a acid fat, and glycerol and chlorida change the pepsinogen into a pepsin and kill microorganism pathogen. Yeah, I think that's all.
Aku Sal Ratna.
Misal.
Ratna.
Okay, after Ratna, me, okay?
So many enzyme produced by pancreas and their function.
Pancreas and the function. Oh.
Yeah.
Total. The kind or total?
What?
The total in pancreas, the total enzyme in pancreas, or the kind of enzyme?
The kind.
Oh. Yeah, in pancreas is like lactase, in pancreas, to break down the sugar lactose, and sucrase, this enzyme to break down the sucrase sugar into a simple sugar. Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay.
Lita first.
Tsaqif.
Is there is there enzyme in our brain?
Enzyme in our brain. Enzyme dalam enzyme.
Aku Sal.
Wait. In enzyme, yeah, also there are some enzyme in our brain, like nicotine, adenine dinucleotide. And the function is to protect our brains from from stress and etc.
Thank you.
Aku Sal.
Ya,
Mi. What are the properties of the enzyme catalase?
what? Repeat.
What are the properties of the enzyme catalase?
The properties. Kata. Properties of catalase is water and oxygen. Yeah, only that I think.
Salva.
Yeah.
What the function of enzyme?
Okay, the function of it. The simple function of enzyme to production, digest food, uh, uh, protect our body from virus and etc.
Thank you.
Yes.
Then CHNT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enzyme there.
Repeat. Could you repeat?
How do enzyme work?
In message. Alright, in message. Chen, write your question in message.
Sal anu Husna question and message Sal.
Oh, agak jawab.
Oh,
Di mana ya? Kif? Message-nya di mana? Oh, ada. Wait. What the bentuknya ya? Itu from atau from?
Yang mana sih? Ratna.
Husna.
Husna yang mana? Yang tadi Ratna ya?
Yang ini. Oh, Ratna. Itu from atau from?
Nggak tahu. Dari mana gitu?
Dari mana gitu? Ya from the intercellular from in the cell. The intercellular and extracellular is from the main cell in our body. Yeah, next.
Aku Sal.
Yeah.
A way to test whether a substance is an enzyme.
Pardon, could you repeat? Could you repeat, please? Repeat your question.
Repeat.
What?
How way to test whether a substance is enzyme.
How to test?
How way to test whether a substance is enzyme. Substance in enzyme.
Itu different ya? the difference between substance.
Faisal,
Huh? Wait. The difference between substance and substrate is the substance is physical matter and the substrate is enzyme act. Next.
Adi,
Faisal,
Adi, Adi.
Sensi.
Faisal, how
Wait,
do enzyme work?
How do enzyme work? Yeah,
How
they,
do
they,
enzyme work?
enzyme work is like they will break down the like food and make a production in our body and protect our body like if there is a bacteria or virus come to our body, they will protect our body. Yeah, just like that. Next.
Adi.
Yeah.
What what most important enzyme in our body and how to add enzyme in our body?
Uh, uh, could you repeat your question?
What most important enzyme?
How to how how to
Menambah.
of add enzyme in our body? Enzyme. How in body means if you how to increase enzyme in our body, you can mm, eat fruit like uh, pineapple, papayas, honey, banana, avocado, and etc. Yeah. Next. Repeat. Next. Next. Next.
Faisal, Faisal,
Yeah.
in enzyme have four characteristic, and can you explain about characteristic of enzyme?
Characteristic and mm, this enzyme. Uh, hmm, characteristic of enzyme is the shape is like will uh, will attract other plants to threat, and enzyme is a hormone of protein that act as a biocatalyst. Yeah. Uh, this catalyst can speed up the chemical reaction. Yeah, I think that's all. Next. 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 Next kan. Ayo. Kayaknya sih udah semua pak. Udah give udah semua. Ya, I think enough. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pause ya dulu. Terus ini pause recording. Udah ke-record belum, Sar? Ke-record udah? Udah ya? Hah? Oh, iya. Cek. Masuk ya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo. Masuk nggak sih suaraku?
Masih.
Yeah.
Today I would like to explain about chapter 6 biology. The name of this material is plant nutrition. So, plant is one of living things in the world other than human and animal, and of course plant is very different with animal. Plant is very different with animal and human because plant and humans can do a movement, but that's for movement. For example, to take a food, and then maybe human also take a bath, and so on. So plant is the most different of living things in the world other than human and animal. So now I will tell you about plant nutrition. In this chapter, there are photosynthesis, life structure, and then the last is mineral requirement. So before we continue, can one of you tell me about photosynthesis? Maybe Lukman?
What? Why me?
No problem. So what do you think about photosynthesis?
Maybe when the plant absorb energy from the sun.
Yes, nice. So what do you think about photosynthesis, Lita? Lit, Mosimos, Lita. Okay, your answer is right.
What?
Okay. What do you think about photosynthesis?
Uh, photosynthesis is maybe like what the X.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, no, no
I
problem.
don't know.
Okay, uh, let's go to the material. Photosynthesis photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is process by plants to manufacture or produce carbohydrate from a raw material, and this process need light as an energy. For example, uh, light from sun and the other, because like before Lukman say that photosynthesis of one of process in plants that need light energy. That's right. And photosynthesis is process, what's that, plants process to produce, I think that's like food, because that the plant can grow up. So uh, aduh, the function of raw material, as we know, raw material is, yeah, we can say that this is like a food in plant. So raw material can build new cell, and then this is a source to for plants to grow up. So as we know, all of living things in the world will grow up. For example, human and plants, human and then animal, human and animals, when they are from baby until adult, and so on. And also plants also can grow up like the other living things, but the plants method is different with us, because yeah, actually that's almost same. The requirement is they are need of food to a source of energy to grow up, and then they also will make a new cell, and the new cell is source for their growth. So the plant can grow up because that. And then uh, the difference between plants and the other living organism or the other living things, maybe we know that plant is the most different living things, other than the other living things like human and animal, because for the first, uh, 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 the, their movement is different, because yeah, I think plants also can make a movement, but the movement of plants is different with humans and animal, because humans and animal can make, yeah, I mean that's like do for movement. For example, if we want to uh, go to the other place, for example from, yeah, maybe Gombong uh, until Sempor, I think that's yeah, we can say that this is for movement, because that's different with plants, because plants cannot move, I mean cannot walk and from Gombong until Sempor. So that this is the first factor that make plants is different with the other living things. So plants also have their methods to produce a food, like before the name of this the name of this process is photosynthesis, and the plants didn't do some movement to do photosynthesis, but the requirement is they just need light from the sun as an energy to produce a food like carbohydrate and so on. That's different with human. Maybe in the stone era we
Ya
can,
udah masak orang.
maybe in the stone era we can hunting some animal, I mean human in stone era, but now it's more simple, because if you want to uh, eat, we can go to restaurant or the other market to buy instant food or so on. So and animals also have their process to get a food like hunting, and then there are also animals who eat a plant or herbivore and so on. So that's why plant is different with the other living organism. And then as we know, food is as fuel in all of living things. Like, yeah, if we are vehicle, maybe motorcycle, car, or airplane and so on, if it's need fuel like oil, so we need a food as our fuel, like to make our grow up, to make and then to get energy for our movement and so on, and to think, get energy to think something and so on. uh, so food is important in human and then animal and also plants. Okay. uh, Before I say that plant have different method to take a food, but not all of plants uh, have same method like photosynthesis, because there are also plants who eat an insect, like for the first Rafflesia arnoldi. As we know, Rafflesia arnoldi is plants that eat an insect. Maybe our teacher have, I mean, in junior high school or in elementary school, have explained about Rafflesia arnoldi, and then how Rafflesia arnoldi take a food, how Rafflesia arnoldi make insect come into the flower and the other maybe. And then there is Drosera. Drosera is have have something like tentacle in the end of their what's that, in the end of their leaf. So when um, there is insect uh, over the leaf, they will like making curve to eat the insect. And there is Venus flytrap. Venus flytrap is like, I think that's same with all of uh, species of plants that eat an insect. But Venus flytrap is like, yeah, maybe that's like a mood. If there is maybe insect over their leaf, they will close their leaf, and the insect cannot move out from them. And the last is Nepenthes, or in Indonesia we call it kantong semar. uh, Maybe we know that in Nepenthes there is some, maybe that's like liquid in in the in in Nepenthes, and the function of this liquid like to kill the insect that enter in the Nepenthes. So actually, not only Rafflesia arnoldi, Venus flytrap, Drosera, and Nepenthes that eat an insect. Actually, a lot of species of plants that eat an insect, but I just include 4 of those because I think that's not, yeah, that's important, but because I don't want to explain it more, so I just include 4 of those. So we back again to photosynthesis. As we know, in that era, maybe around, yeah, under 2000 century, a lot of people that make experiment, or scientists that make experiment, maybe in physics, biology, and maybe chemistry. So he is Jean Baptiste van Helmont. Okay, he is a doctor from Belgium. I don't know he is scientist or so on, but I just know he is a doctor, and he from Belgium, and he study in University of Leuven, and he find experiment of photosynthesis. So he is one of people that makes experiment about photosynthesis. And I think if you want to follow his experiment, that's easy, but that's need a long time, because okay, I will tell you about his experiment. So for the first, he planted a plant in container with, yeah, around 90.8 kilogram dry soil. For example, this is container. He put the dry soil over in the container, and over the container, maybe over the container, he put a metal grill over the dry soil. The function of the metal grill is to keep uh, the dry soil from gain or loss the mess, maybe because an air, or maybe rain, and so on. And then after he planned it, uh, he left he left the plants until 5 years, and then after he left it until 5 years, he come back, and he he saw that is on the result, the plant mass and size increase. Of course, maybe all of us know about the result. And yeah, and the name of uh, the tree is willow tree. uh, for the first, the the plant is very small, and the mass is just 2.3 kilogram. And then after 5 years, he left it. uh, the the mass increase becomes 77.0 kilogram, and then also the size increase. You can see from the little until become a big tree. And then also the dry soil, but the dry soil is still uh, 9 90 90.8 kilogram, because he put a metal grill over the dry soil. Maybe if he didn't put a dry soil, uh, that will happen gain or loss mass for any factor. Okay, from the result, we can conclude that from photosynthesis, plant can earn a food from the raw material like water, and then air, and the other mineral. So, and the most important requirement is uh, s- sunlight. I mean, light from sun to 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 help the plants to do photosynthesis. Okay. Uh, if we want to maybe do simple practical work, there is sample of practical work that we can do it maybe in our school, or maybe you have to it in your junior high school with your teacher. The first experiment is to move chlorophyll from the leaf, And then the second is experiment to show light in necessary. So if you haven't know about chlorophyll, it's like liquid that maybe that's like green liquid, and this is one of uh, important things in plants, and also the chlorophyll is help plants to do photosynthesis. So if there is no chlorophyll also of course the plant cannot do photosynthesis. And then the experiment to show light is necessary because as we know the maybe light is important to plants to do photosynthesis because light is source of energy. So we will try to learn about this practical work. For the first, this is experiment to move chlorophyll. For the first, we can heat. I mean, heat is make hot of some water until boiling point, and then after the water temperature hit the boiling point, uh, we can turn we can turn off the Bunsen flame. So for the first is we will using Bunsen flame. We will turn on it, and after turn on, we heat some water until boiling point, and after that we can turn off the Bunsen flame. And after that, there is we need a forceps to put leaf into the water, maybe around 30 seconds, and we can move it into the test tube. Test tube is yeah something like glass that have little size, and then after that we can push the leaf into the bottom of the test tube, and we can put the alcohol into the test tube and put the tube put the test tube in the hot water. After that, pour the green alcohol into the spare beaker. Maybe all of you have saw beaker in biology with in laboratorium with Mrs. Uh, what is it? I forget. Guru itu siapa ya? Wahyu ya? Guru kimia. With Mrs. Wahyu. I'm sorry, I forget. Uh, Beaker is like test tube but have a more big size than test tube. And after we pour or put the green alcohol into the spare beaker, we can remove the leaf and put the leaf uh, once more into the hot water, and after that we can spread the decolorized leaf on the white tile and give it iodine. So after we give it the iodine, the part containing starch will turn become a blue. I mean the color will become blue, and the part without starch will become a brown or yellow. This is the example. This is the maybe that's the image. So this is the leaf pick up before we give iodine. After that, this is what's that? This is a leaf after we give the iodine, and we can see the color will change, become blue and brown or yellow. Okay, for the next, there is experiment to show light is necessary, and that is one of the simple experiment. The first, we can what's that? Cut the simple part of aluminum foil. Yeah, you can. If you want to practice it, you can buy aluminum foil, maybe in market around your house, around your home. I'm sorry. And then after that, we can make a stencil. If you don't know about stencil, stencil is like, if you know calligraphy, the stencil is like calligraphy. I mean, okay, if you don't know about stencil, you can uh, search in Google, and then after we make a stencil, that's up to you. You can make, uh, for example, you can make a number, and then you can draw something or so on. And after we make a stencil with the simple part of aluminum foil that we have cut, and we can attach it on the leaf, and then we can wait it after 4 or 6 hour. I'm sorry, in daylight. I mean in the afternoon. After that, we can move the aluminum foil and test it with starch. So it will become like that. I maybe you have try it with your teacher. So okay, we will continue the material. For the next is leaves. This is a leaf structure. uh leaf structure is what's that, the last of then the second of our material, the other than photosynthesis and uh, wait other than photosynthesis and mineral requirement. So this is a leaf. We can see that's a leaf, and this is a blade or lamina, or maybe we can say that this is a leaf. I mean the body of the leaf. And then this is vein, midrib, and leaf stalk. Vein, midrib, and vein, midrib, and leaf stalk is, if in our body, this is like a bone that keeps strong our body. And then that same, there is vein and midrib. And okay, we will next into the next material. This is in leaf structure. There are epidermis, mesophyll, stomata, and vein. Epidermis is a single layer of cells on the upper or on the upper and lower surface. I mean, if this is a leaf, in upper and the lower end of leaf surface, there is epidermis. And then the second is mesophyll. Mesophyll is like tissue between the upper and lower epidermis. And that this there is also stomata or stomat, uh, in and the location of stomat in the leaf epidermis. And this is like a structure, and we call it stomat. And the last is vein. uh, Vein is like midrib, like before. Okay, so we know the function is make the what's that, the leaf keeps to keep the leaf strong. And the last is mineral requirement. Of course, plants also need mineral for their life. There is, for the first, there is nitrate ions, or NO3 minus, for making amino acid. And then the function of amino acid to make a protein. And nitrate ion needed by enzyme and cytoplasm. And then there is magnesium ions, or Mg2 plus. uh, the part that need it is from chlorophyll, and the chlorophyll will help plants to do photosynthesis. Yeah, I think enough for me. Thank you for your attention. If you have question, you can ask it to me.
Kev.
Me,
Okay,
give.
Richard. Richard,
Lukman
give.
ya, Lukman first.
Richard, give.
Yeah.
Richard.
Wait. How long the the plants can survive without leaf?
Without leaf.
Yeah.
As we know, not all of the plant can. Uh, uh, Actually, there are plants that can, yeah, maybe survive until more than one month, because if we know maybe in winter in maybe, I mean in the other country, there are uh, plants that can remove his remove their leaf, but actually why they remove the leaf is uh, to keep their food, and maybe they can survive more than 1 month or maybe 2 months, because uh, winter is, yeah, maybe long time.
Can I ask you again?
No problem.
But why some plants can grow up again without leaf for a dozen years maybe?
For the year, can you give me example about the tree?
What's that? Kapas apa sih? Pohon kapas. Apa itu?
Oh, actually not
Yeah.
all of plants have same method to get food, and actually not only photosynthesis, but uh, plants can using their root to get mineral like water. So yeah, they also can grow up, but maybe not not more fast than plants that have leaf.
Thank you.
Okay.
Misal,
Richel,
misal.
Richel
Me, 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 me,
Richel
me.
Kid, Richel
Richel
Kid,
Budi.
Richel Kid.
Ya, Richel.
If plants don't have chlorophyll like mushroom and other, how do they are get their food?
Like before, maybe they can get the food for maybe just a raw material like water, but yeah, maybe they cannot get the food. But if human help them to maybe give something like tool to help to give the food for to the into the plant, maybe they can get the food. But if they didn't have leaf, maybe they will die, maybe.
Yes, thank you.
Food.
If
Hmm.
how much oxygen that produced by the one plant?
uh Maybe we cannot count it, because uh we don't know uh the the shapes of oxygen, so I cannot answer it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Give.
Misal.
Adi.
Nisa.
Whether a plant, if there's no sun,
Ah.
whether plant can be photosynthesis at the night, because in the night there's no
No.
sun.
No.
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 Okay.
Next. Ayo Adi.
Zalfa answer Adi.
Wait. Is there any plant not need photosynthesis? Do not need.
Yes, there are some plants that uh didn't do photosynthesis, and then
And
that
Zalfa.
enough.
what plant it is?
That is the species of plant that eat an insect.
Thank you.
Zalfa.
Huh?
How, how
How much the insecta flower need a insecta to do photosynthesis?
Uh, Maybe they didn't need too much because uh, uh, that's like animal that or people that hunting something. If they just get under than 10 insect, maybe they also can do photosynthesis
Vidya.
with
In this process of photosynthesis, CO2 rich with water to produce what?
repeat please.
In this process of photosynthesis, CO2 rich with water to produce what?
Maybe the water is one of raw material, and then like in the first wait. Uh, the function of raw material is uh, raw material can become source to plants for manufacture or produce carbohydrate as their food. So uh, if they have raw material, they will make it become a carbohydrate. Next.
Okay, thank you.
Safa.
Mm.
Can plant grow without nutrition?
Of course, no, because nutrition is very important not only for plant but also human and animal and yes and animal. So if actually they can grow up by but just sometime before they die.
Okay, thank you.
Aku ke Pratna.
Ratna.
Uh, please please explain how cactus do photosynthesis.
If you know, in cactus there is maybe one flower, or we call it uh, cactus flower, and of course uh, cactus have some they have part of their body, and the function of this part is to change. Yeah, it's like uh, to exchange the function of leaf, and because this part they can do photosynthesis. Sal.
Yeah. What will happen if plants get too much water?
Actually, if plants in wild plant, they it's impossible if they get uh, maybe a lot of water. So yeah, if they get a lot of water more than the requirement, they will die.
Okay, thank you.
Faris.
Aku give.
Naila ya.
Faris first.
Oh, Faris.
Yeah. Maybe what happen if light from sun change become light for lamp to photosynthesis?
Yeah, actually that's good. But if you know, light from sun maybe have something like UV and so on. But if we change with lamp that have uh, same function, have maybe UV and so on, it can uh, it can help plant to photosynthesis also.
Me, Tsaqif. How do nutrients affect plant growth?
Huh?
How
How?
how do
Mm-mm.
how do nutrients affect plant growth?
how do nutrient can affect plant growth.
Yeah.
Actually, nutrient is important for plants, and of course it will give an effect uh, to plants grow. So if the plants have nutrient, so they can grow up. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Kiev,
Aku ke
Kiev, aku.
Naila
Yes.
first.
Lita.
Naila first. Naila
Me.
first.
Oke, oke,
Naila.
oke.
What substance which produced from photosynthesis process?
Substance.
Which
Oh,
produced from
photosynthesis.
yeah.
Maybe carbohydrate, and the carbohydrate can become a food. Hello.
Yeah.
Kiev,
Yes.
can you tell me what the consists of stoma?
What the consists of
Stoma.
stoma?
Stomata.
Oh, the consists of stomata.
Yes.
Stomata. Nah, no. I mean, in stomach, this like in epidermis. So if epidermis is consists of single layer, so maybe stomach is almost same. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Give
Who's now question
me.
inside Kiev?
Me. Give.
Siapa?
Who's now question in message?
Me.
Oh iya ya. Lita.
Give is me, Deska.
Oh.
Deska.
Deska is my phone.
With Lita's phone.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so my question is,
Yep.
as we know, mesophyll consists of two zones. Can you tell me two of them?
Two of them of mesophyll.
Yeah.
Wait. Mesophyll. Mesophyll is wait. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Kok di admit sih dodol ya dimit?
In mesophyll there is sponge mesophyll and palisade mesophyll, and the function of those is different. So maybe I just can explain about it.
Okay, thank you. Tsaqif.
Okay.
Okay.
And then wait, who's now first? Whether when plant do photosynthesis that is give a benefit for other living thing is like humans and animal. Yeah. Of course we also get the benefit. For example, if wait, maybe apple tree, if the apple tree didn't do photosynthesis or they cannot do a photosynthesis, of course we will die, and we cannot try the test of apple. So I think that's the benefit of photosynthesis, because if the plant still alive, we can get the benefit. And also if the plant can photosynthesis, of course the plant can grow up, and if the plant grow up we can use the wood or the other material to make something. And the next, Oi. The next.
Tsaqif,
Ah.
what the substance in plant that are growth inhibit?
What?
What the substance in plant that are growth inhibit?
Maybe carbohydrate and the other raw material. That's it, maybe. And then the next question. Okay, look, David.
Maybe all of plants has structure stomata or certain plant. And give me example plant about if has structure stomata.
That have structure of stomach.
Stomach.
Okay. Stomach. Actually, if the plant have a leaf and the leaf in the leaf there is a stomach, I mean that's like maybe apple tree and so on. And yeah, if they have a leaf, maybe they also have stomach. Fit.
Yeah.
Ya apa?
Give me example plant.
Apple.
Apple. Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Another plant.
Yeah, maybe plant that have a fruit like apple, and then wait. What is fruit tree? I don't know more. Wait. Maybe no, coconut and so on. Apple, coconut, vanilla, and so on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Enough. Hello, Moshimos. Enough. Oi. Udah selesai? Langsung stop ya? Mennya udah tanya semua. Langsung. Ya, thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.